There's City Hall right there.
And then the agenda process and all that. So this might be a good guide for you too.
Okay, all right, and thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
On May the 22nd, 2009, I went to the Sunnyvale city clerk, to pick up a form, simply pick up a form to make a claim against the city for a violation of my civil rights. When I got there, she wanted to talk to me about other things. And so I asked her about something I was having a problem with, because I talked to several people in the city about applying for a permit to peacefully protest. And in accordance with the ACLU, if you go to their website, they say that in order to peacefully protest, that you need to get a permit. That's the law. And most cities have some kind of permit process for you to peacefully protest. There is a requirement. The city should know how to handle it. But in the city of Sunnyvale, as you can see, not too many people protest in the city. They completely acted as if they didn't know. Per the ACLU, restriction of free speech. Free speech is one of the most cherished of American values. The First Amendment to the Constitution was written to address this value, and since then, few rights have been more hotly defended than the right to express one's view without interference from the government. Unfortunately, government agents and others have often abused their power and seek to restrict free speech. Here's a case study. A participant at a peaceful protest was handcuffed and taken to jail because he refused to move to a designated protest zone that was out of sight of the president and local national TV news cameras. Chilled free speech activities due to the Patriot Act. About a month or so before I went to City Hall, I had stood in front of the police station and tried to peacefully protest about the police harassing me. No sooner did I set up my protest material did the City of Sunnyvale police come to harass me. They told me I couldn't be there. They gave me, I think, 5 minutes, and a police officer, who I have on tape, fortunately, told me that I had to have a permit. So I asked him politely, where do I get a permit? He said, City Hall. Now, you're going to listen to the end of this tape, and you will see that I never threatened anyone, I never got mad, I never got angry, I was very polite, and I left. To this day, I still haven't got a permit. And we're talking 6 months.
Them an email. I think the best way to do is, if I can, I'd rather do something in writing. So if I drop it, this is where I drop something off for the mayor, or no?
I know it's in City Hall, actually in the main City Hall building. The mayor's office is over there, so you can just drop it off over there. Right. Or you can, I mean, if you brought it here. Well,
to know they're not responding. His job would be to say, why aren't you responding, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, that would be his job. He's the mayor. Sure. So if his employees, I don't know if they're any of his employees.
Well, they're not. They're the city manager's employees, but the city attorney is appointed by the mayor. So the city manager and the city attorney are appointed by the mayor. So the city manager doesn't have anything to do with what the city attorney does.
Does the mayor have another job? The mayors usually have another job,
yeah,
right?
They don't keep regular office hours here. This is basically a part-time, council's basically a part-time job for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, they're responsive to email, letter, any of that. It's all handled through their assistant. It's a very formal process. It's documented and everything.
Yeah,
so
and see, that's what I want at this point.
Yeah, sure. So
yeah.
I think that makes sense.
So if I drop off a letter to the mayor, I drop it off?
Just next door at City Hall. And do you want the mailing address for purposes of writing the letter? Sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Let me just write it on that. I'll just write it at the bottom of that little post-it.
Okay.
So, and it's just right next door, and it's 456 West Olive.
Is there anything, any place in writing, what are the rules to try and get something on the agenda? I mean, if somebody is saying, okay, I don't know. I mean, it's confusing for me. I'm not a person who understands the system. I mean,
Well, I think there's not anything I think specific in writing, but I would say that sending an email to him can get the ball rolling and to decide what.
No, you don't know. I have a long history of fighting the city.
Okay.
They've learned to just ignore. They
They're
decide.
supposed to do that. I mean, they need to respond to you.
They don't.
I mean, do we have Charles? Let me give you this. This is just so you have this. This gives a little bit more background, but this is the council, and then just how the city governance, and then the agenda process, and all that. So this might be a good guide for you too.
Okay, all right, and thank you so much.
No problem.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. I just have a feeling that the mayor would probably want it to be handled operationally before he would decide to put it on the agenda. So I'm just wondering if you're going to get back into the same spot again where he's going to want you to talk to the city attorney first, talk to the city manager first before he would make that decision. So I'm just wondering, we might be able to handle it better now. But I mean, you're welcome to do whatever you like. You can go talk to council. You can send him an email. I'm just thinking that the normal process from what I've always seen is that he typically would have it handled operationally first before they would make any kind of policy decision, because they're applicable laws. There's nothing that they can vote to go against our city laws or, obviously the state laws or anything like that. I don't want you to be in this circle of not getting answers. I mean, or not.
Well, I know that when people want to protest, like for a march or something, they have to get they have to do a permit to get the city to shut down the street.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have that. You don't even have a way to.
Let me give you this. This is just so you have this. This gives a little bit more background, but this is the council, and then just how the city governance, and then the agenda process, and all that. So this might be a good guide for you too.
Okay, all right, and thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, bye.
Bye.